Until we meet again. The last words from Thailand's Pita Limjaroenrat as he left the assembly floor. The country recently elected his Move Forward party, but Parliament's military-appointed senators have twice trounced his candidacy for Prime Minister, with the court suspending Pita from Parliament. The caretaker government has called for calm, but that won't stop protesters.
Progressive nominee Pita Limjaroenrat was ready to become Thailand's next Prime Minister. The Harvard-educated businessman was the people's choice in an election that saw a record turnout, but the country's parliament failed to follow suit.
I think Thailand has changed and will never be the same since May 14th. The people have won halfway. I'd like to ask all members to take care of the people from now on.
At the iconic Democracy Monument, Pita's supporters lashed out at the conservative establishment for refusing to loosen its grip on power.
I'll take this day as the first day of our new round of fights and our last round that will make the dinosaurs go extinct.
To become head of government, an elected nominee still has to win a joint vote by the House and Senate. But last week, Pita's endorsement was blocked by conservative senators who are not elected but appointed by the military. Parliament debated whether they should hold a second vote for the endorsement. But the military-backed senators are not in favor of giving Pita, who wants to limit the powers of the military and Senate, a second chance.
According to Section 41, therefore, nominating Pita again is not possible in this session.
Delivering a separate blow to Pita and his supporters, the Constitutional Court suspended him from Parliament for having owned shares in a media company that has not broadcast anything for 15 years. Many in Thailand want to see an end to a two-decade battle for control between elected parties and the military establishment.
Our Asia-Pacific Bureau Chief Georg Mattis is in Bangkok. Surely this all shines a very bright light on the undemocratic reality of Thai politics.
That's right, Ben. And of course, many people here in the Thai capital and in Thailand generally have said, why bother voting if 250 non-elected, military-appointed senators can do the job for us, literally. So if these people can block the popular vote, why have a system that is based on popular voting? So that's the position on the one hand. On the other hand, of course, some people, even in the Thai parliament, have said, it says nowhere in the constitution that the majority gets to set the government. And you do have to say that there are political systems where there are similar cases. For instance, the first past the post system in the UK. I don't want to go into much detail, but you can have a situation where in a constituency the majority is not represented in the parliament.
But what do Thai people think about this? I mean, there was a small protest Wednesday, another Thursday. Will this snowball?
Very hard to say at the moment. I mean, definitely in these weather conditions, nobody's going to go out and protest. It really depends now to what extent Move Forward will be included in the new government. So if they are excluded entirely, that could spell some anger in the population. On the other hand, I spoke to a lot of people, and they have said, they're already frustrated with the way things have run in the past 9 years with a pro-military government, and this frustration has led to some ignorance towards the political system, where people say, we can't change it anyways.
Well, while the storm clouds continue to gather behind you, how did Pita ever think he'd get anywhere in his quest to release the military and monarchy's grip on power by being so blunt and open in his party's election agenda to totally upend the establishment?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that is something a number of critics have pointed out here, that it has not been wise of him. Maybe it has been brave of him to stick to his election promises, like the defamation law that he wants to reform. When it comes to insulting the Thai king, for instance. That is something he promised voters, and that is something he has stuck to. But sticking to that promise in the coalition talks has meant a lot of parties have said, look, we can't go down that road. And that is why in the first vote in Parliament, he didn't get the voices needed to get into the seat of power.
So would you say this is the end of the road for Peter? He said he wants to come back. He'll see us again. But what's the reality?
Well, he got a huge round of applause when he left Parliament yesterday after he was suspended. As a prime ministerial candidate and as a potential new prime minister, that is the end of the race, because yesterday Parliament established that there will be no second vote on a similar motion, and that motion was, he lost that vote the previous weeks, and so yeah, that is the end of the road. When it comes to his political career, we have to wait and see what the Constitutional Court decides. If he indeed is found guilty of holding those media company shares, he could face a ban for political activities for up to 10 years.
Wow. And where does this leave the government itself in Thailand? What's the path now towards building a new government? I mean, where's it going to come from?
Well, lots of horse trading going on as we speak here in the Thai capital. It'll be all eyes on Pure Thai, the second largest party, and so far coalition partner of the Move Forward party. How are they going to manage to create a majority in this second vote that is due to come next week in Thailand on the 27th of July? And there's a number of scenarios. They could team up with Move Forward, but they will face the similar resistance from conservative and military-aligned parties. They could team up with some of the parties that have so far been in government, but then they would have to explain why they moved together with Move Forward in the first place. So it'll be a really, really difficult task to come up with a government here next week.
And Georg, where does this leave Thailand? I mean, it's in political limbo now. What happens to businesses, for example, to tourism? What happens to this place as being it's a huge location when it comes to manufacturing and production?
Absolutely, and it's an economy that is already in a bit of trouble after the pandemic, like many economies in Southeast Asia. It is actually a question I put to Pita Limjaroenrat personally when I met him a few weeks back, and I said, how important is it that a fast solution is found for businesses in Thailand? And he said it's absolutely critical. Now, that was clearly when he was still hoping to get into a government. So businesses around Thailand are keen that there is political stability as fast as possible. But the way things stand right now, it doesn't look that there is a fast solution. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week.
Bureau Chief Georg Martis in a very rainy, stormy Bangkok, in a very tricky situation there politically, the nation. We will have more on that shortly here on DW News Asia.